back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we have a great show for you today. First topic we'll be covering is going over the National League games of yesterday, then moving into the American League as well. Then after that, we'll be talking about the league lead in Cleveland Guardians and just their surprise season so far, and my overall thoughts on it. And last but not least, we'll be talking about some news stories around the league, just some general injury and transaction stuff, so we'll be going over that. Now, before we go into the show, I would like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get into the show today. All right, so as I said, first topic is going to be what it usually is, recapping the baseball games of yesterday. Now, usually we start off with the American League games, not the National League, but wanted to switch it up a little bit, give some love to the National League, so we'll be starting off with them today. So the first game we have on the agenda is going to be a game from the late window, just as we started with yesterday, the Mets and the Giants. They are also playing right now as we speak. The game starts at 3:45. It is currently 3:31, so it'll be going on as the show is in progress. So if anything extremely notable happens, I'll probably talk about it in the last segment, but I don't think so. Cardinals Diamondbacks also in the ninth inning right now. Looks like the Cardinals have that game won, but Diamondbacks could always come back, I assume. So we'll be saying that as well. But let's go into the National League games of yesterday, the ones we are going to recap. So Mets Giants, of course, starting off. We had the Giants beating them in the first game of the series yesterday. So Mets looking to take this game and avoid getting a series loss. Bottom of the fifth, the scoring would open with a Thairo Estrada RBI single to score Mike Conforto to make it 1-0 San Fran in the bottom of the fifth. And then in the same inning, Mike Yastrzemski would blow the game wide open with a 2 RBI single scoring Matt Chapman and Estrada to make it 3-0. Bottom of the seventh, Yastrzemski would come in clutch again with another RBI single, also again scoring Thairo Estrada to make it 4-0. And then a Lamont Wade Jr. RBI double would make it 5-0. In the top of the ninth, the Mets would get a run on the board with a DJ Stewart RBI groundout, but it would be the end as they would not come back after that, losing the game 5-1. Now the Giants had on the mound Logan Webb, who, like usual, was absolutely phenomenal. 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, no run runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, no home runs, 2.33 ERA in the season. I mean, Webb has consistently showed over the past few years now that he is an ace in this league. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball, and he just continues to play like that. I mean, just an incredible, incredible player. He may not strike out a lot of guys. I mean, only 4 strikeouts over 80 last time, but he is a master at getting those ground balls and inducing that. So just one of the best pitchers in baseball, and I think Giants fans are lucky to have him. For the Mets, they had Luis Severino on the mound. He went 6 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. He was actually perfect through 4 innings, I believe. It might have been 5, but I know it was either 4 or 5. So a really strong start there. It kind of unraveled a little bit at the end, but I'd still say it was a really solid start. 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Not the best, but I still think really solid. A 2.67 ERA now as a Met so far. I think he's had a really great season and been a really underrated pickup for the Mets, and I think it's worked out so far. So, yeah, good for him. And, he's always seemed like a really good guy who's had a lot of fun playing baseball, so I'm happy for him. Next game we are talking about is going to be Cubs and Astros. Struggling Astros looking to get a win on the Cubs, who have been pretty great this season. Bottom of the first, Cody Bellinger would hit a 2-run home run to open up the scoring early for the Cubs, making it 2-0. Then a Mike Tauchman 3-run home run, his first of the year, would make it 5-0 Cubs in the bottom of the first. So just a really great job jumping out in front early for this Cubs offense against the struggling Astros pitching staff. Top of the fourth, Yainer Diaz would hit an RBI double to score Kyle Tucker to make it 5-1. Then a Jake Myers solo shot, his third of the year, would make it 5-2. So the Astros would get some runs on the board, but the Cubs would get some more insurance, making it 6-2 with a Nico Hoerner RBI groundout and a Mike Tauchman solo home run, his second of the year and his second of the game. Really great job there to make it 7-2. The Astros would not score after that, and the Cubs would end up winning this game 7-2. So a really strong game by the Cubs offense, especially coming out early and scoring all those runs. Also, Mike Tauchman was really, really great as well, so good job for him. For the Astros, they had on the mound J.P. France. He went 5 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, 2 home runs. So had a really awful first inning. After that, settled in, giving up no runs in 4 after that. But at the same time, still that rough first inning is not good at all, and it just can't be excused. So not a great overall start for J.P. France, I'd say. I think you need him and some of your other depth guys to really come in handy right now and really come in clutch with all the injuries you've had. They just simply are not doing that. So, as I said, the Astros have a lot of problems with their pitching staff, and it doesn't look to be ending anytime soon. 7-17 now. I mean, That's not something to play around with. For the Cubs, they had Jordan Wicks on the mound, the rookie. He went 6 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and a home run, having a 4.7 ERA on the season so far. For a guy who's making a 5th start of the year, a guy who's going to be one of the future parts of this Cubs pitching staff, I think it was a solid start. I think 6 innings pitched, only 2 earned runs for the Astros offense is really, really great. So good job there. I think I'm really high on him for the future. I think he's going to be really, really good. So definitely watching him, seeing what he can do. Next game we have is going to be Phillies and Reds. I feel like these teams have played each other a lot so far this season, so just keep talking about it. In the top of the first, Alec Boehm would hit an RBI double to score JT Realmuto to make it 1-0 early. Then Christian Encarnacion-Strand in the bottom of the first would answer right back for the Reds, hitting an RBI double, his 6th of the year, to score Spencer Steer to make it 1-1. Bottom of the third, Encarnacion-Strand would come in clutch again, hitting an RBI single to make it 2-1. So really great game for him. Then Nick Martini would reach on an error from Alec Boehm and would make it 4-1, and a Santiago Espinal single would make it 5-1. So great job by the Reds offense in that inning to come in clutch. And it'll be all Reds from there as well, as in the bottom of the 5th, Ellie De La Cruz would hit his 7th home run of the year already, having a monster season, scoring Christian Encarnacion-Strand, and then a Santiago Espinal home run, his first as a Red and his first of the season, to make it 8-1, would essentially close it, as the Reds would end up winning 8-1 and beating this really nice Phillies team. So even with injuries, the Reds have been really solid this season, really, really impressive. So good for them. For the Phillies, they had on the mound Christopher Sanchez, 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 runs, only 1 earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So can't really blame him for that start. Only 1 earned run over 3. You'd like to see him go deeper, yes, but again, only 1 earned. So I don't really think most of that start yesterday was his fault. It was more seen to be on the Phillies offense, who also made 3 errors in the game. So definitely need to improve that. For the Reds, they had on the mound Andrew Abbott, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a 2.50 ERA on the season. So, Abbott is going to be a guy that is going to get a lot more starts now that you have someone like Frankie Montas on the injured list. So definitely need to become in clutch, and that was a really good start there, and just a really good opportunity for him. Next game we have is an NL Central matchup with the Pirates and the Brewers. In the bottom of the first, Andrew McCutchen would hit a solo home run, his 3rd of the year, to make it 1-0 Pirates, to open up the scoring really early. 2nd home run in this series, back-to-back games, against his former team as well, so good job by Kutch there. Bottom of the 6th, Connor Joe would hit an RBI single to make it 2-0. Top of the 8th, Gary Sanchez would hit a solo home run, his 2nd as a Brewer, to make it 2-1, but the Brewers would still end up losing 2-1 and would not score after that. So low-scoring game here, only 10 entire hits in the game, only 3 from Milwaukee. So good win by the Pirates, and beating their division rival. For the Brewers, they had on the mound, it is Tobias Myers, yes. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, 4 strikeouts. Had a really solid start there against this good Pirates offense. I think any day of the week you take that. For the Pirates, they had Bailey Falter. He went 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. 3.33 ERA in the season. He's been really impressive so far, in my opinion. I think he's been a really great surprise for the Pirates. I did not expect Falter to do much when he got traded to the Pirates last year at the deadline, but he's been a really nice starter for them, filling in sometimes, just good depth. So, yeah, good for him, and just a good job so far. Next game we have is going to be Dodgers and Nationals. Scoring would open up in the bottom of the 2nd after a Jacob Young RBI single from a bunt. That would score Ildemaro Vargas. Top of the 6th, Kike Hernandez would tie up the game with a RBI single to make it 1-1. James Outman would then give the Dodgers a lead with a RBI double to make it 2-1 Los Angeles. Then a Miguel Rojas RBI single make it 3-1, and a Shohei Ohtani solo home run, his 6th of the year, in the top of the 9th, would put the icing on the cake as the Dodgers end up winning this game 4-1. So the Dodgers just lost the series to the Nationals, obviously, so it's playing them again shortly after. Really nice start to get back out in front and win the series. The Nationals are not a great team, obviously, but apparently they could be the Dodgers' kryptonite per se. So good job by them to come in clutch and win the series. Dodgers had on the mound James Paxton, who was okay, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and a strikeout. 1 run is good, but you definitely like to see him go deeper than 4 2/3 innings pitched, especially against a team like the Nationals. So You want to see that for the future, definitely. The Nationals had on the mound Patrick Corbin. He went 5 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So a really solid start there, honestly. I mean, 5 1/3 innings pitched, no earned runs against the Dodgers offense as well. I don't really think you can ask for much more than that for a guy like Patrick Corbin. So really solid start there. And if I was a Nationals fan, I'd be pretty excited with that start. So yeah. Next game we have here for the National League is going to be Braves and Marlins. So starting off this game now, scoring would open up in the bottom of the second with a Michael Harris RBI double to make it 1-0. Then a David Fletcher sacrifice fly would make it 2-0. Going to the bottom of the sixth, a Travis d'Arnaud sacrifice fly would make it 3-0. And then an Adam Duvall 2-run home run would make it 5-0 Atlanta. So, yeah, I mean, just an onslaught for Atlanta there. 5 runs. Marlins would only get 3 hits. So just an easy, quick game there for the Braves. They had on the mound Max Fried, who had a complete game shutout, 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, of course, no walks, 6 strikeouts. An absolutely incredible start for Fried. He's had a pretty rough start to the season so far. Is playing up to his potential now, I see, and obviously a free agent after the season. So I think any great start for him is going to make himself a lot of money. So a really good job there and a really great start. The Marlins had on the mound Trevor Rogers, who was decent, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Just an okay start, nothing to write home about, but could have been a lot worse playing the Braves offense. So we kind of have some not breaking news, but I'd say significant news that I just saw that just broke. Cubs outfitter Cody Bellinger has a fractured rib and is going on the injured list, and top prospect Pete Crow Armstrong is being called up. So that's pretty significant, I'd say. Not something I was really expecting. I'm not really sure where Bellinger got that injury. I'll have to do more research, and I'll probably tell you either in the last segment if I have time to look at it in between, or in tomorrow's show, but we'll see. But that is pretty significant news, I'd say, Bellinger going on the injured list and a top prospect like PCA getting called up. So that's definitely some news I do want to talk about. But we'll continue with the segment here. But just did want to mention that because I just did see it. So yeah, the next game we have here now is Arizona and St. Louis. Bottom of the first, St. Louis would open up scoring really early with a Wilson Contreras solo home run, his 3rd of the season, to make it 1-0 St. Louis. And after that, it will be all Arizona. Lourdes Gurriel, RBI single. Christian Walker, 3-run home run. Gabby Moreno, RBI single. Randall Grichuk, RBI single. Pavin Smith, RBI double. Kevin Newman, solo 2-run home run. And then a Pavin Smith grand slam would make it 14-1 Arizona. Just an absolute onslaught of offense for Arizona. I mean, wow. Pavin Smith grand slam, of course, being the cherry on top. I mean, what a game for Arizona. The Cardinals had on the mound Steven Matz, who, of course, was awful. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Just awful. Has not been good since coming to St. Louis, and I think we might see the end of his time in St. Louis coming rather quickly, especially the rotation. I try to move him to a reliever now, see if he has anything there, but he's obviously not fit to be a starter at this point for St. Louis. Diamondbacks had on the mound Tommy Henry, who went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. 5.55 ERA in the season. Not great, and I think you definitely need him to be a little bit better. For the season, be a little bit better, but that start was really nice. I think the Cardinals' offense is really good, and having a start like that, I'd say, is really important for the way the Diamondbacks are right now with the rotation depth and all the injuries they've had, so a really good job there. Next game we have is Padres and Rockies, an NL West matchup. Scoring would open up in the top of the first as Jake Cronenworth would hit an RBI single to score Xander Bogaerts to make it 1-0. Then a Jerickson Profar sacrifice fly would make it 2-0. Bottom of the second, the Rockies would get a run on the board with a Nolan Jones RBI single to score Luis Diaz. But Luis Campusano would answer right back with an RBI double in the top of the third to make it 3-1. Then a Jackson Merrill RBI single would make it 4-1. Going to the bottom of the fourth now, Brendan Rodgers would hit a grand slam for the Rockies, getting them on top just like that, making it 5-4 Colorado. Really, really exciting moment there for Brendan Rodgers, his first home run of the year as well. Elhuis Montero would walk in a run with the bases loaded to make it 6-4, and an Ezekiel Tovar RBI single would ice the game for Colorado, making it 7-4, and them defeating their division rival Padres. So an unfortunate game for the Padres here. Pitching just did not come in clutch and would definitely let them down. they had on the mound Michael King, who was pretty bad. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. So not great. Hopefully he can improve, but maybe it was just a sign of going to Coors. So hoping it's not a long-term thing, of course. For the Rockies, they had Ryan Feltner on the mound. 4 innings pitched, 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Not great, giving him 10 hits, but at the same time, it is Coors, so you take it with a grain of salt, really. And it is a Rockies pitcher, so. All right, so that was the end of our first segment here, talking about the National League games of yesterday, just recapping those. We go into our second segment, which is talking about the American League games. So yeah, we go into that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get into our second segment of the day here. Now, before we do that, to start, I would like to mention some more stuff I found out about Cody Bellinger. That was something that did break on the air, so I just want to talk about it. So it is unclear when he will return from the fractured rib, so we do know that. But overall, I think it does suck for Bellinger, as he was just starting to get hot at the plate. And the Cubs have been really impressive so far, and losing, again, one of their hotter hitters is unfortunate. But it's really nice for Pico Armstrong to get an opportunity in the major leagues now. Lost a lot of opportunity once they did re-sign Bellinger. So I think it's really good for him that he does get another opportunity and does get to start every day at center field now, it seems like. So that is good. But, you always don't want to lose a guy of the caliber of Bellinger. Really, really good players. So, yeah. We're going to go to our second segment now, of course, which is American League games. We just talked about the National League, so only fitting to go to the American League. So yeah, let's start it off. Starting off with the Guardians and the Red Sox, of course, two really exciting teams so far this season, two teams that have outperformed expectations. So let's get into it. Top of the seventh, Wilyer Abreu would open up the long scoreless game with his second home run of the year to make it 1-0 Boston. Bottom of the seventh, Tyler Freeman would hit an RBI single to make it 1-1. And a Brian Rokikio sacrifice fly to make it 2-1 Cleveland on the bottom of the seventh. Then a Jose Ramirez solo home run and an Estevan Florial RBI double would make it 4-1, and the Red Sox would not score after that, making it a 4-1 game for the Guardians and a 4-1 win. So a really nice job there by the Guardians. Just keep on moving for this year. My third segment is about them, of course, so I'm not going to go too deep into their season, but I will in the third segment. So if you're a Guardians fan or you're just interested in why they've been doing so well, I'll update you on that. The Guardians had on the mound Ben Lively, who was really good. 6 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 1 earned run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Really, really solid. Just a great game for him. For the Red Sox, they had on the mound Tanner Houck, who also was really solid, even though he did get the loss. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Really great start there. Offense just let him down, kind of got deGrommed, quote unquote. When you pitch a great start and your offense doesn't do anything for you. So unfortunate there, but still a really good start by him. And nice job trying to stake his claim as part of the future of the Red Sox rotation. Next game we have is Tigers and Rays. Top of the third, scoring would open up with a Riley Green solo home run, his 4th of the year, to make it 1-0. Then an Isaac Paredes 2-run home run in the bottom of the 6th would give the Rays the lead, making it 2-1. Top of the 8th, Riley Green would come in clutch again with his 5th home run of the year and his 2nd of the game to make it 3-2 Tampa. And then a Mark Cannish solo shot would make it 4-2 Detroit. And they would end up winning the game. I think I said Tampa before. I meant to say 3-2 Detroit. Obviously, Riley Green is on the Tigers. So 4-2 Detroit, and they would end up winning that game. So a really nice job by Riley Green and Mark Canha, two of the better outfielders coming in clutch. Tigers had on the mound Kent Maeda, who was solid. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no 1 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Has had a pretty rough start to the season as a Tiger so far. Hopefully he can, get it back up and get back to the Kent Maeda we all know of. So hopefully this start was a step in the right direction. For the Rays, they had Ryan Pepio on the mound. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 3.77 ERA. So really strong start there. Again, I've said it multiple times, I'm very high on him. I think it was a great job by the Rays to get him back in that Tyler Glasnow trade that we all knew was coming. So really good start there. Next game we have here is Athletics and Yankees. Yankees looking to bounce back after that rough loss in the first game of the series to the A's. Top of the first, scoring would open up with a Seth Brown RBI double to make it 1-0 A's. But Giancarlo Stanton would answer right back in the bottom of the first with a 2 RBI double, scoring Juan Soto and Aaron Judge to make it 2-1 New York. Then an Anthony Rizzo 2-run home run to make it 4-1 New York. Really great job by Rizzo there. Has been struggling very publicly so far. So a really nice job there to kind of get back on track and hit that home run. Top of the second, though, Shane Langoliers would hit a solo home run to answer back a little bit, make it a 4-2. And then the rookie Lawrence Butler would come in clutch with a solo home run to make it 3-2 New York. But the A's would not score after that, coming back down to earth and being the A's, and they would end up losing 4-3 to the Yankees. So a nice win there by the Yankees. They had on the mound Marcus Stroman, who went 5 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 9 strikeouts. Really great start there. Has been really, really solid since coming to the Yankees. I think, like myself and a lot of other people, I think we're very skeptical of the Stroman signing, but he's been really, really well and put his past behavior about the Yankees behind him. So really good job there for him. For the A's, they had Paul Blackburn on the mound, who was, he was just 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, but still a 2.03 ERA on the season. I think Blackburn is going to be one of the most sought-after players at the trade deadline. Just a really solid veteran starter with control. A lot of teams could be interested in him. So I think every single good start that he has is another prospect here. The A's go up to get someone for Blackburn. So it's been really good for almost a year and a half now. So I'm looking at Blackburn as one of the real guys I think is going to get a lot at the trade deadline. And a lot of teams need pitching like always, especially this year with all the injuries. So I'll be watching him and seeing if he does get a haul like I think he will. Next game we have is the Blue Jays and Royals, matchup of two blue teams. Top of the third, Justin Turner would hit an RBI single to score George Springer to make it 1-0 Toronto. Then a Alejandro Kirk sacrifice fly in the top of the fifth would make it 2-0. A Kyle Isbell, sorry, I framed that wrong. Kyle Isbell would reach on an error to make it 2-1, and then a Bobby Witt Jr. RBI double would make it 3-2 Kansas City, and they would end up winning that game kind of rather quickly. I mean, Blue Jays scored, Royals came right back, and then the game would end. So no scoring after the fifth. So kind of an interesting game there, but good to win by the Royals. Keep going on this really great season they've had so far. They had on the mound Michael Wacha, who was okay, only 4 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Kind of interesting that it didn't go that deep into the game. I'm not sure if there's a medical issue there or just the Royals wanted to pull him quickly. So I'll look into that quickly, and I'll see if that is a thing. But I don't think so. It seems like they just wanted to pull him. Probably a situation where he did get pulled that early. So hoping there's nothing there. But just looks like they pulled him early for once. The Blue Jays had on the mound Kevin Gausman. He went 6 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs, none earned, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. So the errors for the Blue Jays really killed him. But for himself, just 6 innings pitched, no 1 runs against this nice Royals offense. Good start for him, and continuing to be the ace that we know of. Again, had a rough start to the season coming back from that injury, but overall I think has been really, really good. So, yeah, good job there, and good start for him. Next game we have on the agenda here is going to be White Sox and Twins, a battle of AL Central teams, of course. Bottom of the first, Max Kepler would open up the scoring for the Twins with a RBI single to make it 1-0. Then Eloy Jimenez would answer back with a 3-run home run, his second of the year, to make it 3-1. Chicago, of course, I just said that. But, I mean, really nice job by Jimenez there. Has really been struggling this year. So, good hit there and good home run to come in clutch for the White Sox. Bottom of the seventh, Carlos Santana would get the Twins within a run with a RBI double to make it 3-2. And then the White Sox would get some more insurance runs, though, with a Andrew Benintendi RBI single to make it 5-2 Chicago. A Trevor Larnach 2-run home run would make it 5-4, and then the big blow would come in the bottom of the ninth with a Byron Buxton solo home run to tie up the game at 5-5 for the Twins. And then an Alex Kirilloff RBI single would win the game for the Twins, making it 6-5, walking it off for them. So really, really nice win for the Twins there. With all the bad vibes they've had to start the season, I think a walk-off like this and a comeback like that can really ignite your team and really make you do well in the future. So watching that, a great job there. The Twins had on the mound Pablo Lopez, who was decent. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Definitely not what you want, but not horrible as well. So I think against an offense like the White Sox, you need to be better. But I'm pretty confident in Lopez becoming better for the season. The White Sox had on the mound Eric Fetty. He went 6 innings pitched, giving up 3 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 11 strikeouts. A great start for him. Has been really, really great since coming over to the U.S. again and going to the White Sox. I thought he was one of the most underrated players in baseball after coming over from that contract. I thought that contract was really, really good. Was a very undervalued free agent. So being proven right so far, which is pretty nice. And yeah, I loved that contract. I really did. Next game we have is Mariners and Rangers. Top of the first, the scoring would open up with Cal Raleigh's 6th home run of the year to make it 2-0. Then on the top of the third, Julio Rodriguez would finally hit his first home run of the year. Has really been struggling so far, but getting that first home run on the board is nice. Takes a lot of stress off your back, and now you can just go play baseball, not having to worry about it. He was one of several players to not have a home run of the year, and he kind of stuck out like a sore thumb on that list. He's really the only big star there, so a really great job by there to again get that home run on the board, kind of erase that from his brain, and just get back to playing baseball now. Okay, that's done. I can go back to being myself. So nice win by the Mariners here. Pitching really kept the dangerous Rangers offense in track. Logan Gilbert was phenomenal. 6 2/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no 1 runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Has really, really been great to start the season so far. Really has been impressive. For the Rangers, they had Dane Dunning. He went 4 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Just okay. I think you need him to do better, but not horrible. The final game we have for the American League slate of yesterday is going to be Orioles and Angels. Scoring would open up in the top of the first with a Mike Trout leadoff home run, his 9th of the year, to make it 1-0. Then a Luis Rengifo RBI double and a Zach Neto RBI single in the bottom of the second would get the Angels out to an early 3-0 lead. Then a Logan O'Hoppe RBI double and a Joe Adell RBI single in the bottom of the third make it 5-0. And a Zach Neto RBI double and a Nolan Shanuel RBI single in the bottom of the fourth make it 7-1 Angels already in the bottom of the fourth. Orioles offense looked like it was dead at this point, and the Angels were just flying by. But the Orioles would attempt to come back a little bit with a Gunnar Henderson sacrifice fly in the top of the fifth and a Ryan O'Hearn RBI double to make it 7-3. Then Gunnar Henderson would hit his 7th home run of the year, a solo shot in the top of the 7th, ironically, to make it 7-4. But the Orioles would not come back after that, would not score, and the Angels ended up winning this game against the Orioles 7-4. Really, really strong game for the Angels there, beating this good Orioles team. Congrats to them. The Orioles had on the mound Grayson Rodriguez, who was not his usual good self. 4 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 11 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. 4.45 ERA on the season. Not really what you want. For the Angels, they had on the mound Griffin Canning. He went 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. 7.6 ERA on the season. Not great, an okay start, but still not a great overall season for him. So definitely not what you want, but not horrible anyways. So yeah. Those are the games from yesterday, both the American League and the National League. Both have been recapped now. So yeah, that is it. We'll be going into our third segment, which is talking about the Guardians and their impressive start to the season. They are currently the best team in the league somehow, so just be talking about that. Do I think it's sustainable? My overall thoughts on it, all that. So yeah, we'll talk about that. But first, we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our third segment, which is going to be talking about the Cleveland Guardians and their torrid start to the season. I mean, really nobody expected them to do what they have been doing, so really just a great job by them and proving everyone wrong. You know, personally for me, I made some comments about how I thought they were just kind of stuck in purgatory. They weren't good enough to get a top draft pick. Obviously, that was proven wrong before that because they got the number 1 overall pick in the draft lottery after barely missing the playoffs. So it obviously doesn't matter about record anymore. It just matters about luck in the draft, like all the other sports do it, of course, except football. But so that didn't really matter. But you know, they weren't high enough to go into. They weren't bad enough to go into a full rebuild, but they weren't good enough to fully complete. So they were kind of just in that vein of mediocrity. You know, I compare it to teams like the Chicago Bulls or the New York Islanders, teams that are just okay. That are okay, would probably sneak into the playoffs. They got the opportunity, but wouldn't go far and aren't bad enough to fully rebuild and fully blow up the team and just go into a full tank mode. So I kind of thought that's where the Guardians were. I wasn't very high on them. I kind of thought, again, their organization needed a clear vision. And this season so far has provided us with that vision. And that vision is that the Guardians are somehow contenders. And they are not just contenders. They are extreme contenders. They are best team in baseball currently. Now, we look at the standings of baseball, and we look at the top winning percentages. We see the regular teams. Braves, 727. Of course, you have Philly, 625. Makes sense. Milwaukee, 636. Kind of a surprise, but again, the Milwaukee, they've been great these past few years. Los Angeles, 560. Top of the NL West. No surprise. New York, 667. Baltimore, 652. You know, all these things that are kind of normal. And then we see Cleveland, 739 winning percentage, the best team in MLB, in the Major League Baseball so far. I mean, wow, just what a great start. So now you have to ask yourself, why is that? Well, I think it's for a few reasons. First of all, the hitting core. Now, the hitting has been the Guardians' problem for as long as I remember. I mean, just their hitting has been so inconsistent, so just mediocre. They've never really had a big power bat to complement Jose Ramirez. But somehow this year, their hitting has come together. You look at guys like Josh, you look at these guys now. I'm going to use WRC Plus for this, weighted runs created plus for this. Weighted runs created plus is a hitting stat that I really like. It factors in a lot of different things, including ballpark and just a lot of different aspects. So I do think it is the best hitting stat. It's more of an advanced stat, so if you want to look into that, please go ahead if you're not familiar with it. But basically, for WRC Plus, 100 is league average. So if you're above that, it's how much percentage you are above league average. So going to the Guardians now, Josh Naylor, 182. He's 82% better than the league average. You got the example. So you have Josh Naylor, 182. David Fry, 171. Stephen Kwan, 152. Estevan Florio, 147. Gabriel Arias, 127. Andres Jimenez, 113. Tyler Freeman, 108. Will Brennan, 102. I mean, you look at these guys. First of all, Josh Naylor. This guy has always been an okay player in the league. You know, you go back to the past few years. He's just been okay. Again, last year, 126, 119. Really solid stats. But going to 182, well, where did that come from? I couldn't tell you. I mean, I think just somehow he started hitting lefties. He has a 260 WRC plus against lefties. Now, he hasn't had that many at-bats. He's had some, but not that many. But still, that's an incredible, that's an incredible feat a lefty-on-lefty guy, a guy who's known for his righty power, doing that is really incredible. So he finally breaks out and he becomes a superstar. It looks like David Fry, kind of more of a role player who's only had 46 plate appearances this year, but still has been really solid, hitting those lefties, a lefty killer, and has been hitting righties some as well. Stephen Kwan, 162, really, really great. Estevan Florial, a guy who was thrown away by the Yankees, Guardians picked up for scraps and got as 147 now. Gabriel Arias, a top prospect from a few years ago, finally breaking out, 127. So it seems like the hitting core of the Guardians is finally coming together. All these younger guys that have been mediocre for the past few years or have now lived up to their pedigree are finally playing well and are finally doing good. So that's really very exciting, and it's just a great thing. So if I'm a Guardians fan, I'd be really excited about where this team's going, and they have a lot to look forward to. And this is all, by the way, without Jose Ramirez performing and being Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez right now is a 91 WRC+. He has really not been that good this season. And he's been consistent over the past few years. I mean, this year so far, going to more of like base stats, he has a OPS of 680, an OPS plus of 98. So he has really not been that good. So you factor in all these young hitters for the Guardians, playing really well, hitting the ball really well. Even with their superstar not hitting well, you're going to have a really good team. A team that is finally having a vision, a team that is finally having their younger guys perform to their abilities, performing really well, being themselves. I think it's a really nice job by the Guardians, and just, wow. I think it's pretty clear why they've been so good. Also, another thing is their manager. I think Terry Francona being their manager over the past few years, it did kind of negatively affect them. It kind of just had the team remaining stale. Terry Francona, legendary manager, no doubt. World Series champion, a guy who is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, is one of the greatest managers of all time, no doubt. No one's arguing that. But he got older, and as he got older, I think he got a little more complacent, got a little worse, frankly, at his job, and I think it affected the Guardians team. There's a lot of great young players on this team, including their pitching staff, which we have not even touched upon. So having this older guy like Francona, a guy who has seen more of a father figure and kind of a leader than an actual manager, was kind of a negative, I'd say. I think it was kind of bringing the team down a little bit, and the Guardians needed someone who was going to fit in with that young core. And bringing Stephen Vogt in was one of their best decisions I've seen in a long time. A lot of people were skeptical about the signing. Vogt, a catcher who just retired 2 years ago, getting a major league managing job after limited to none experience in the managing field. But the Guardians believed in him, and it's worked out so far. Now, he had limited experiences in managing, probably none, for being honest, maybe something here and there, maybe go to high school, but really nothing too notable for a major league manager. But you look at Vogt, you look at his resume, he was a major league catcher for a long, long time. We always say that if any player is going to become a manager, it's going to be a catcher, because they have to deal with so much like a manager does. You have to deal with worrying about the runners on base, throwing them out, calling the pitches, catching the ball, not making an error, holding the runners, calling the pitches, working with the infield, working with the pitcher. So there's a lot of catchers to focus on. They have to be one of the most intelligent players on the field, if not the most intelligent. And that's why we always say catchers are going to make great managers, and Vogt is a product of that. He was a great major league catcher for a long time, did his job really, really well, and it is now translating to being a major league manager. He knows what he's doing there. He's made some great decisions. He's revitalized that clubhouse, it looks like. He's been just a great manager for this young group of guys that are hungry and looking to prove themselves. It's kind of a reflection of him in the managerial world. A young, hungry guy in the managerial world, under 40, trying to prove himself. The Guardians team was doing the same with all these young players that I talked about. So I think getting Vogt on your team as your manager, while it looked to be a skeptical move at the start, a move that had people scratching their heads like, okay, you're giving your manager job a manager that was very sought out by a lot of people. Apparently Craig Counsell would have taken that job if he didn't get the Cubs job. It shows you how much people wanted it. You're giving it to a former major league player who is not managed at all, or been a bench coach or a third base coach or a first base coach or anything in Major League Baseball except a player. And they said yes, and he's been great so far, and they believed in him, and it's been a great addition. So I think that's another reason why the Guardians have been so good. Their manager, I think that was a great job for them. Also, seeing on my phone now some Guardians news after looking at my notes. Gavin Williams has been shut down after experiencing a setback in his rehab. That's not good, but kind of sad that we're going from great, very positive talk about the Guardians to that. But I did see that, and I thought it was notable because we are talking about the Guardians. But going to the pitching now for the Guardians, what's so weird is their pitching has not been that good. That's really what's strange to me. I mean, you look at the guys who have made the most starts for them: Tanner Bybee, Logan Allen, Carlos Carrasco, Tristan McKenzie, all made 4 to 5 starts. You have Bybee with a 4.44 ERA, Logan Allen a 5.06, Carrasco somehow with a 3.44, who's been good, but then a McKenzie 5.00. So it's not even like their pitching has been amazing and combating with their hitting and being that good. It's been very mediocre. They just lost their best pitcher for the year and probably next year as well with Shane Bieber. So, I mean, the Guardians' pitching hasn't even been that good. Carlos Carrasco has been a great addition to them. He's been really good somehow. I don't know how that's happened, but I mean, he's been really great since coming back to the Guardians. But Bybee hasn't been that good. He hasn't been horrible, but not that good. A 5 ERA for Logan Allen, a 5 ERA for Tristan McKenzie. So it's not even like the Guardians' rotation has been good. I think it's really their bullpen. Their bullpen has been really solid. You have one of the best closers in baseball in Emmanuel Clase, a guy that you rely on to come in that game when you have a lead and just shut it down. I mean, he's made 12 appearances so far, 0.75 ERA. Underlying stats seem to show as well that he's still good. Other guys you have in the bullpen who have been really good as well. Hunter Gaddis, who is not allowed to run yet in 11 innings pitched. Nick Sandlin, who has a 2 ERA so far. Scott Barlow, who has been okay, 12 appearances, 4 ERA, but still solid. You have Tim Herron, who has 11 innings pitched under his belt, 0.79 ERA. Eli Morgan, 2.16. So the Guardians' rotation hasn't been great, but their offense has been great. Their bullpen has been great. So overall, just the manager has been great. The rotation has been great. The bullpen has been great. Sorry, not the rotation. The hitting core has been great. So as much as the Guardians do have a lot to worry about in the future, the players are performing. The team is doing well vibes-wise. Everyone seems to like being there. They have a great fan base over there in Cleveland. So, I mean, yeah, it's looking out for the Guardians. Now, the question I want to ask is, do I think this is sustainable? I think that the Guardians are going to be a good team this year. I underestimated them. I'll say that right now. I underestimated them. I did not think they would be this good, but they have proven me wrong, so good job for them. Do I think they're going to win the AL Central now? No. Do I think they're going to be a top 5 seed? No. But I think they are still going to fight for the 6th seed in that AL. I think they're going to be above 500, and they're proving a lot of people wrong right now, which is really the most important thing to them. No one expected to do what they were doing right now. I didn't know what to think about them and what they were doing this year. So as much as we may think it's not sustainable because I don't think their hitting is going to keep hitting like this. I don't think guys like David Fry are going to sustain that much. I don't think, all the other people who are performing as well as they are going to hit that well. You could say it evens out because your superstar Jose Ramirez isn't hitting well. Your pitching hasn't been doing well with guys who you think are going to be doing well after relatively soon with guys like Tanner Bybee who is not performing up to his talent. So as much as I don't think this is sustainable for the Guardians, I don't think it's unsustainable in a way that they're just going to fall, they're just going to deeply fall down to earth and they're going to be bad and they're going to finish 5th in the AL Central. No. I think they're going to compete for the AL Central crown. I don't think they'll win it. I still think it goes to the Twins, even with the bad start they've had. I still believe in them, but I think the Guardians could fight for a wild card spot. And hey, they're proving all of us wrong. And the future of that organization is looking very, very nice right now. The first overall pick in the MLB draft, which is in July, they got very lucky with the draft lottery. They're going to get a franchise guy, so maybe Charlie Condon, maybe Travis Becerra, maybe Chase Burns even, Jack Caglione. We're going to be talking about the MLB draft tomorrow, by the way, in honor of the NFL draft happening. So just a little preview of tomorrow, so I want to talk about it a little bit, and the Guardians have the first overall pick. But yeah, I think overall things are looking very up for the Guardians organization right now. Maybe less than I thought it would be if at the start of the season and just a little while ago. A lot is going right for them right now. They have a lot of great pieces, and yeah, again, I think the start has been very impressive. Do I think it's fully sustainable? No, but I will say, I'll be the first one to admit, I underestimated them. They're better than I thought, and they're doing really, really well so far. So props to them. All right, so that was our third segment there, talking about the Cleveland Guardians and just their start to the season. We'll be going into our fourth and final segment, which is talking about some news around the league, just some transaction and injury-related news that I all wanted to bunch into one big segment. Usually we do this at the end. So yeah, let's talk about that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
We are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fourth and final segment, which is talking about some news stories around the league, transaction-related and injury-related, just some stuff I wanted to bunch in and talk about. So first off, we have Lane Thomas going on the 10-day IL for the Nationals with a MCL sprain. We just learned that it was a grade 2 sprain, so he should be out a little bit. I don't think he'll be out much longer than the 10 days, maybe 15 or 20, but that's not that significant of time for the Nationals and Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas is, of course, one of the more bright spots for the Nationals, a guy who is a really, really solid player. And, is just really, really great. So it is unfortunate that he is out, but at the same time, again, the Nationals aren't that good. And it's not like they're trying to compete. So it's not horrible for them. Again, you wouldn't really like to see him get out anyways. I think he's going to be a good trade piece for you guys at the trade deadline. I think Thomas, could get back something for teams that are desperate for a corner outfielder. If you do want to trade him, I don't know if they will because they think they might be closer to competition than some people expect. But unfortunate that he gets in the injured list, but I don't think he should be out that long. I think he should be back relatively quickly, so we'll be watching that and we'll see when he does get back. So yeah. Next, we have a bit of surprising news here. Jordan Walker has been sent down by the St. Louis Cardinals this early into the season. Now, Walker, of course, is one of the better players for the Cardinals, well, at least was before he got sent down. Has been a guy that really showed a lot of hitting prowess through his time in the minor leagues and in the major league last year as well. It was a top prospect for the Cardinals for a long time with them. Got called up last year, made the MLB roster, performed really well. Was really good. Was a really good hitter. The problem with Walker is he plays zero defense. He's not good at defense whatsoever. It is just not his thing. He is a straight hitting guy. So when he's not hitting, he provides about little to none value for a team. And so far, he was not hitting for the Cardinals. It is .424 so far. We're around a month into the season. You got to show something, and he just didn't. So that is the reason I believe that he was sent down. His hitting just started off so poorly. And just so unfortunate. So he did have to be sent down. And yeah, it is unfortunate, but I think he could come back. You're really hoping, for the Cardinals, you're really hoping he is not a bust. He was a guy that was very highly touted in the Cardinals organization for a long, long time. A top prospect over there. So I think all Cardinals fans are really hoping that Thomas is okay and just needs to get his swing back up for the minor leagues. I don't think they would have sent him down in normal circumstances, but with the Cardinals struggling as they are, I think they were desperate to kind of switch everything up a little bit, kind of get a spark going and show everyone, we don't care who you are, you're not untouchable. You'll be sent down, you'll be traded if you're not performing, and I just think the Cardinals want to get a spark into their team with how mediocre they have been. Now, most people, including myself, expect them to be mediocre, so I don't really know if this is news to them or their fan base, but overall, I don't really agree with the decision to send Walker down. Yes, he wasn't showing much, he wasn't hitting, but he's still a really young player, only in his second season. I still believe in his hit tool a lot. I still think he'd be a really solid player at the major league level. So I think it was a little too early for him to be sent down. I think they were kind of rushing it or being a little bit too, I guess, forceful is not really the right word, but kind of overbearing on him. I wouldn't have sent him down this early. I would have waited a little bit, but I get why they did it. I just don't personally agree with it, but I still think he's going to be back relatively soon, and I still think he's going to be a really good MLB player in the future. Just really hoping he doesn't become a bust now, because I was very high on him. He's been a top prospect in the Cardinals organization for a long time. People forget, the Cardinals' young future looks so bright. Him, Dylan Carlson, really those two guys at the forefront, and both those guys really haven't lived up to expectations. It seemed like they could have traded both for Juan Soto a few years ago when he was getting traded from the Nationals, and they didn't, and they instead held on to them. So just shows you how different, how highly touted they were, and how different baseball could have been if they didn't make in that trade. So I'll be watching Jordan Walker's future and seeing what he does here. The Red Sox are considering free agent first baseman C.J. Cron, according to multiple reports. Now, Cron was with the Red Sox in minor league camp, but got released. So they are considering re-signing him and giving him a major league contract to help with their first base woes. Tristan Casas is going to be out a little while with an injury, and I think bringing back Cron would make some sense. Brings a good first base and infield depth to the Red Sox team. I think you need some of it. And, Cron is just a veteran power bat that knows what he's doing at the plate. If he gets hot, he can be a really good player. And if not, again, just gives you good at-bats, brings you good depth. So I think it would be a smart move for the Red Sox to bring back C.J. Cron. I think he's a really solid player and just overall is good and would make a lot of sense to bring back for the Red Sox. Some news that just broke before I went on stream, like a few hours. Blake Snell is going to the IL with an adductor strain and is missing his start today versus the Mets. The Mets game is on as we speak. Currently is 0-0 in the top of the third. Sean Manaea just got out of a bases-loaded, no-outs jam against his former team, so that is something. But going back to the Blake Snell situation here, going on the injured list with an abductor strain just continues his horrid start with the Giants so far. Of course, signed with the Giants late, got no spring training, has made 3 starts with them. All of them have been awful. He has an ERA around 12, and now just another unfortunate setback for him going on the IL with an adductor strain. But you're hoping it isn't long-term. And what you're kind of hoping is that, okay, you know what? Snell didn't get to rest. He kind of just signed and then went off and kept going with us. He didn't get to spring training. We think this injury could be a chance for him to relax, take it easy, reset, and get back healthy. And when he gets back in the field, becomes the Blake Snell we all know, becomes that 2-time Cy Young Award winner, becomes one of the best pitchers in baseball, which he is when he is at his best. Again, I talked about it a few times, how I thought one of the reasons Snell wasn't signed early was because teams did have some worry about him and his downsides. When he is on the top, Snell is one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's a 2-time Cy Young winner, really good starter, but when he's not, he has such low lows that you kind of have to take the good with the bad. He doesn't go deep into games. Sometimes he walks a lot of people. He throws a lot of pitches. So when he's at his lowest, he's not a good pitcher. But when he's at his high, when he hits his ceiling, it's such a positive for a team that a lot of teams, I think, were willing to take on the advantage like the Giants. Were willing to take on that mystery like the Giants were. But again, there are some downsides. I think that was a factor of why he was on the market so late, and we're seeing it now. But hopefully this injury isn't long-term and he can get back to the field rather quickly, and hopefully he becomes the Blake Snell we all know and helps this Giants team. Again, when he's healthy, that ace tandem of Logan Webb and Blake Snell is going to be absolutely filthy, just really phenomenal. So I'm watching that, and I'll be interested to see Snell's future with the Giants and how he does end up performing. It has been reported that Merrill Kelly for the Arizona Diamondbacks is going to be out over a month, being on the injured list. Now, we talked about Merrill Kelly a few times, how there was a setback and he was going to be put on the injured list. And Torey Lovullo has now said that this is not the news we wanted, and he's going to be out for around a month because of the shoulder injury. Now, I thought he was only going to be out the minimum of 15 days, maybe a little bit more, but a tiny bit. But a month is a big setback. As Lovullo said, this is not something they were expecting. So losing Kelly for that long does hurt, I'd say. Losing him, losing Eduardo Rodriguez, just a really tough break for the Diamondbacks right now. They need their pitching depth to come in handy and come in clutch. Right now they need these guys like Logan Allen, like Brandon Pfaadt, like Ryan Nelson, to pitch to their full potential and pitch really, really well. So we're watching that right now, seeing what the Diamondbacks pitching staff can do with the regulars out, but it'll be interesting, and we'll see how they do fill in guys like Merrill Kelly and Eduardo Rodriguez being out. Jordan Montgomery was signed for this reason, so we'll be seeing how he does there. He's also pitching today, so we'll be talking about his start tomorrow, of course. Johnny Cueto is finally signed, and he signed with the Texas Rangers. Cueto, one of the top free agents left in the market, did sign a minor league contract with Texas. I think this is a great move for Texas. I think it's a great move for Cueto. Cueto could get a real opportunity to start games with Texas if he does perform well in the minor leagues. With all the pitching injuries they have, and with the injury-prone pitching rotation they do have with guys like Andrew Heaney and Nate Eovaldi, guys who have had major pitching injuries in the past, I think it could be a good sign for Cueto. I think signing a veteran arm like this for the Rangers was a good idea with all the injuries you've had, and I think Cueto going to a team where he can really make an impact, has a chance to make some real starts, I think would be a really great sign, and is just a really good decision by him. So, yeah, I'll be watching that, and I'll be seeing if he does make some starts, but overall I think it's a really good move by Texas and by Cueto himself. Final one we have is Brian Bayo being placed on the injured list kind of suddenly by the Red Sox. It doesn't seem to be a long-term thing, but he is going to be out a little bit, and the Red Sox have just been killed by injuries recently. He's going on the injured list with right lat tightness, which is not great, of course. You don't want to see that. But hopefully he can be back soon. Again, they've been crushed by injuries. Bayo now, you've had Devers, you've had Tyler O'Neill, some of your pitchers as well, who's just a few of them whose name I'm forgetting. So, yeah, not great and not something you want to see, but hopefully Bayo's back relatively soon, and he's back to being one of the best pitchers in the Red Sox rotation. But, man, have they been killed by injuries. 2 games wrong currently. The Cardinals just beat the Diamondbacks 5-1, so nice win by them there. And Francisco Lindor just hit his 3rd home run of the year to make it 2-0 Mets in the top of the 3rd. So Mets trying to not get swept in this series. Good job by Lindor to come in clutch and give them the lead. So, yeah, good job there. But, yeah, that is the show for today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to not only get notified when I upload, but when all the other great content creators on this channel upload. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you at Baseball Throws Us tomorrow. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't that great.